Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chan. Honey, after the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion was over, Shamia Moore made a post apologizing to all the ladies from the Housewives of Atlanta. Is she saying goodbye? What is this about? Let's get into it. So she starts this whole conversation off being annoying to me, doing a freestyle rendition to Just One of Them Days. And then she says she spoke to a friend that said that you didn't take the gloves off. She said she was trying to deal in facts and truth, and getting down and dirty just is not in her character. But she also felt like a lot of things she said got switched up. But a lot of things she said had some omission and not a lot of truth in it. Let me know how you feel. And I think the friend that she was talking to was Candy Burris. So then she starts with Drew. You know, they have this singing thing going back and forth. And she said, what we did not see on the show is that she asked Drew to do a showcase with her. And when she asked Drew to do that, Drew asked her, would she open up for her? And she said, well, okay, I get it, okay. And she said when she kept trying to check in with Drew, Drew was like, it's coming. And then she came back and said that my team said that I can do it by myself. So putting Shamia out of it. Shamia said she threw some shade back and forth with Drew when she was talking about the 5 languages. And then she said at the end of the season, it was coming to the end. And, Shamia did her showcase on the show. Drew came back and said that her team decided that she shouldn't do a showcase because the people don't know her songs. Now, where I do agree with Shamia at is that Atlanta would throw a showcase in a heartbeat, but that is to put your music out there. If you do something where people know the songs, that is a concert, Drew. Now, she said, there was a lot of fun shade she threw back and forth with Drew. And then when she got to the part about the Judith Lieber bag, she was like, Drew was lying, and she said that she could go deeper with it. But she just wanted to keep it right there and keep it cute. So that's Drew. Now, in this Angela portion, it's clear to me that Shamea and Porsha are no longer friends because she said that, Angela was ride or die with Drew. So she really didn't have a connection with her because she was ride or die with Porsha at the time. And then she went on to say that there were things that were being said about Porsha, hindsight is 2020, that maybe she had her back more than she should have. And then she talked about how it was fun shade with Angela. She talked about her nose. Um, Angela called her Shamina, and then Angela became one of the Jacksons. So this is what's going on right now. So then she went on talking about the Angela and Marcus situation. She said she doesn't know if Phaedra did it. It didn't make sense. She doesn't know if Angela did it to herself because the receipts weren't receipting. She has no idea. Then she started talking about Charles and when she met him at Dominique Wilkins' wedding. And she said they have definitely met. They've been in circles again. So she's revisiting that. But she said maybe I could meet Charles and get to know him, and maybe I could meet Angela and get to know her. So it's clear that they did not have a connection this season on the show. So that's all she had to say about Angela. Now we're on to Kelly. So she's like, when she met Kelly, she was on a radio show. She had 4 girls. She was going through a divorce. She has the chicken and waffle situation. She was like, yes, girl power, entrepreneurship, and all of that stuff. And then they start showing like little pictures of the alliance, her, Kelly, and Brit. But Brit's face was scrambled, and every time she would say her name, they would edit it out. So she's not going to speak about Brit? I don't know. So she said when Kelly had come to the radio show and kind of introduced herself, she found out she's a mother of 4. She has this business. And she said she just thought Kelly would be such a good time. But then when Kelly got on the show talking about Porsha taking somebody's husband, she said she checked Kelly. And she said, they showed the flashback when Kelly came to the house. And she was like, look, you need to get to know Porsha for yourself. And then they showed where they were getting ready to go to Grenada, and Brit, why was her face scrambled, and why do they edit Brit's name out when she's talking about her? But she said that's how the alliance had come to be, right? And she said even at that time, she hadn't picked sides. So then she said she didn't realize that Porsha and Brit had kind of made a pact. She said she knew that Kelly and Brit would get their stuff together, and she was a neutral party with the girls. She was cool with everybody. But she didn't realize that Porsha and Brit had talked in Miami, and they had decided to have each other's back. and she had a problem with that, but still remaining neutral. So then Shamia gives receipts about the situation that Brit was talking about, her coming from Grenada to Miami, taking shots with Kelly. She said her kids were there when she arrived at the hotel. Her children were there along with her mom, right? So I don't know if Brit knew that and that's why she said it, but Shamia definitely didn't say or defend herself on the show about that. But I do feel like Shamia is still trying to say that Brit was talking about her daughter. Brit was not talking about her daughter. She was talking about Shamia in relation to her daughter. With everything that happened that she found out about Shiloh in Grenada, and she was taking shots in Miami with Kelly, but her kids were there. And I feel like, why wouldn't Shamia mention that when she got to Miami, her children were there? I think that would have made a difference, but I don't think Britt was talking about Shiloh. She was talking about Shamia. And then she talked about how Britt didn't come to the reunion. She stirred up all this mess, but she would have liked for her to have been there so she could clear things up. So they never got a chance to have that closure. So maybe that's all she has to say about Britt. So what she had to say about Cynthia is what I feel. I think Cynthia was a great friend to the show. She said she was a great housewife, but she loved how she went through with all the women and intermingled and kind of was the peacemaker. And she said she also appreciated her knowing what she was walking into with Porsha. She said because she didn't think it was a good idea for one side to know something and the other side to be blindsided. So she said that she thought Cynthia was a good friend to the show. I did too. Okay, so after Shamia was talking about Cynthia, there was a little breakdown moment. Then her mother and this lady comes in, and her mother is talking about how she was reared right, and she's sure the other girls' mothers reared them right, but Shamia is so much better than the other girls, and you let all this ratchet go and know that you know that you know that you're this person and that person and the third. What is this? Okay. So now what this is her breaking down the Porsha situation. Where Porsha had made the post and had receipts that she was the bridesmaid or whatever. Shamia had more than one wedding. Then she's here explaining that she had one wedding and then she had a dowry ceremony. Then she breaks down what that dowry ceremony means. And then it's just hurtful that Porsha didn't come to her wedding. Like, we're still back here. Child, now we got a whoever is the baddest one hit my hand type of situation. So Shamia's like, looking back at it, hindsight being 2020, I don't know if me and Porsha was ever really friends. Then her mama comes in and says, we prayed about that. And like someone said, beware of the bone that the dog brings. She said, we don't have any dogs in our family. And we know what a dog does is lick everybody's behind. She said that was a very ignorant statement. And she said the person who said that knows our family. And that was very ignorant. And ain't nobody celebrating this but the devil. Oh, Lord. Baby, Porsha and Shamia are done. This lady right here has compared Porsha and Shamia's relationship to circumcision. She was like, it is difficult and it hurts when that happens to a man, but it's all for the better. And this is your season. Child, she done called Porsha foreskin. And low-key, Shamia's mom is over here shading Miss Diane and her parenting. I can't wait to see what y'all got to say about this woman over here in the black. Because this woman told Shamia that she is above all, honey. She is a leader. This is her season. And she said we knew that this day was coming. Who is this woman? So after that prayer, she was told that she should just say, I'm sorry, even if she hasn't done anything wrong, just apologize so she can start anew. And then she had another scene where she said that maybe she didn't get things out right. Maybe she wasn't able to get her point across the way she wanted to. And then she came back and said, I hope this prayer reaches into your homes. And she apologized to all the ladies if she's done anything wrong to them on the show. Let me know what you think about it. I really don't know what this means, but we can talk about it. Bye, y'all.